Hello,
Hello,
good
hello,
evening.
and good evening to
We're
all.
finally live. We are back. We are here.
Good
Swanigan
evening.
Inspiration. Having to get little things set up, but we've gotten it all set up tonight just for you.
Yes.
So we're looking at two cameras, so we may be looking up, we may be looking down, but we are looking at you, all right? We're excited about this new series that we're going to be. Well, the last few weeks we've been focusing in on singles.
Yeah.
And striving to give as many tips as possible for singles. And we're going to jump in. And first, how are you doing? How are things
doing pretty
going?
well.
And God has helped you. He had a little issue there, but the Lord is helping you to get over that. Thank God. That's what we want. We want Him to help us through every obstacle, every heartache, every pain, every injury, every soreness, sickness, or whatever. So we're going to be taking some notes. We hope you do as well. We're going to be talking about why did I get married? What we're going to do is we're going to be analyzing the video, the film, the movie. And most of you all have seen this before. It's an old movie. It's been around for many, many years. Written by Tyler Perry. And it's talking about four couples and various scenarios. So we're going to take a look at it and we're going to stop it. We're going to watch about the first 10 to 12 minutes. And then we're going to talk about each of these couples and how you can relate to them, how you may have had issues as well. Just talk about various things. We're going to be able to help one another.
Yes.
Help one another. Iron strengthens iron. So we need you to call in if you'd like to comment. 314-356-2829. And if you would like to share on the screen, you can do that as well. We may not be able to address your comment tonight, but we will address it when we are able to see the screen a little better because we have a little different setup here.
Yes.
So we're excited about the new setup and the movie that we're going to be all enjoying, and we're going to stop and watch it and talk about the couples. And we're going to start off with prayer. Anything you want to share about how you doing and anything like that?
I feel pretty good. I was down a little bit yesterday, but I'm back feeling a little better today, which is a blessing. And I'm just glad to be here, glad to be alive, glad to be alive and have, as they say, a reasonable portion of health and strength. So I'm glad just to have a reasonable. You may not be 100%, but if you're 99, 98, somewhere in there, you're doing pretty good, say. So I thank God for things as well as they are. Father, we thank you, Lord, for this time, this opportunity to come before you. Thank you for these, your people, those that are watching, those that are listening, those that will watch, oh God. We pray that you would bless us to say something, God, that will encourage some couple, God, somebody that's out there, God, that we can help them along the way, God. We pray your blessing will be upon things that we do and say this evening. In Jesus' name, amen, and thank God. Amen.
So we want you to join in with comments, because if you are not married, this is still going to help you. It's going to help you to be able to watch out for red flags for the future. Yeah. Watch out for things that you may have dealt with, and you need to be able to go back to your spouse and, hey, let's talk about this. That was a sore spot. There's really there's no conversation that we're going to have in dealing with relationships that at one point or another that you either going to be facing, dealing with, or helping somebody else in that same situation. Because now you are a resource. People come to you for answers. People come to you for solutions. People come to you for, what should I do with this? I know you were married at one time, or I know you are married, or, something like that. So don't dodge the bullet. Don't say, oh, this is not for me. That's not how you handle this. The way you handle this is you put it in your library, and when it's needed, you pull that book out. All right? So this is how we handle this. We don't say, well, this is not for me. We say, you know what? At this moment, it may not be for me, but somebody's going to come to me for advice, recommendations, for answers. And this is going to help equip you to say, wow, I was thinking about what they said and how they said it.
Yes.
So you're going to help us by commenting, and we're going to help you by sharing some of our experiences. And anything you want to share before we get started?
Let's just go and get started, and we'll go from there.
All right. We're going to watch the first 12 minutes of this, and we want you to write down some of your questions, type it out on the screen. And be prepared, or if you want to phone us in at 314-356-2829, you can do that as well. And just get ready to jump in. We're going to look at 4 different couples that have different issues, totally different issues. And some of these issues you may have had or know someone that may have had it. All right, so let's get in. It's just about to begin. Let's see, turn it all the way up. We want them to hear it as well. Alrighty, here we go. We're going to step back just a little bit so you can enjoy.
I'm very proud to say that it has been nominated this year for the Psychology Digest Award. And to answer your question, yes, we still get together and do that vacation. As a matter of fact, I'm leaving right after the lecture to meet my friends.
Let us know if you can hear it or not.
Why did I get married? All right, well, this is a book based on a study I did with my friends, with their consent, of course. And this is something we still do every single year. And what it is there are 4 couples, and we take a 7-day vacation anywhere in the world that we choose. And while we're on that vacation, we ask ourselves, why did I get married? We do exercises to strengthen our relationships. We pray and meditate together. We do whatever it is to support one another. We force our spouses while we're on this vacation to talk about whatever it is that we really need to talk about.
That's got to be hard, especially for the men.
It's actually a test of the wills. Take Terry and Diane, for instance. They know how to communicate all too well.
Couple number 1.
Maybe we should have left Kenya at home. She's just gonna be that cold.
I keep telling you, she's fine. I'm a pediatrician, medical degree.
Yeah, the same pediatrician who said it was okay for her to play soccer on the coldest day of the year.
Yes, I did. But didn't we argue about this already?
Who's arguing? It's a debate.
A debate? Oh, okay.
Hello?
That's going to cause a debate.
It's Monica. I can get this.
It's always Monica. Call.
Did you get the information on the case? Great. Could you email it to me? Yeah, and I'll check it when I get to the house.
Diane, you're not checking emails when you get to the house. We're on vacation.
Uh-huh.
You know, we've been in this truck for hours. You've been on the phone. Can you get off the phone, please, and spend some time with your husband?
Okay, thanks, Monica. You have control issues.
Control? Diane, don't start. I don't have any control issues.
I think it's silly. I mean, we've been in this truck for hours. I just thought I'd get a little work done.
The reason we're in the truck for hours is because I'm trying to spend some time with my wife. Don't you understand that? Let me ask you a question. When is the last time we spent this much time together?
We both work 12-hour days. You know that?
No. You work 12 hours a day. I'm home by 5.
Well, so am I. Most days.
Yeah, but you got these emails coming in. You got the phone ringing all the time. I can't get any time with you. You're doing these drive-by meetings with our daughter.
Hey, that is not fair. I am a good mother. I draw the line right there. I cannot believe that was just hurtful.
Diane, I'm not saying that you're not a good mother. That's not what I'm saying to you. I just think your priorities are in the wrong place. That's all I'm saying to you, lady. Diane, we're talking to you picking up the phone. Are you listening to me?
I hear you.
Yeah, but are you listening?
Oh, okay. Okay, you know what? It's just you and me this weekend, okay? Just the 2 of us. You happy now?
Yeah. That's there.
You know, Dr. Agnew, I was so worried about the Sheila and Mike character.
All right, let's talk about this first couple,
Yeah.
Diane and Terry, or Terry and Diane.
Okay.
I am freaking Diane. All right. I am Diane. Okay, Diane is she represents the business owner, the CEO. She had climbed up in the ladder and she had been successful. So accessibility is definitely in demand for her. And this could be the male or the female, right? It could be. Now, there are times the pastor is in demand when the members call. We've been times that we had to stop a trip early. We had to come home early. and things like that. So there are times that you've had adjustments and I've had adjustments. So the let's just okay, I'm going to point out some of the things. That's one thing. The cell phone, we call them electronical leashes, right? Electronic leashes. They leash us to our jobs, our businesses. They leash us to our spouse. Sometimes when you're like, okay, I just need a break. I need a minute. But you're leashed. If you don't answer that phone, you're gonna have trouble when you get home, right? So she felt he was being controlling. He wanted time. So it was obvious, and we did the series on the 5 love languages. It was obvious that his love language was time. Time. That is one of the 5 love languages, is time. And hers is definitely a little different. More like acts of service and things like that.
Yeah.
But so that is something, that's a good book to read when your relationship is struggling. You're trying to communicate and understand one another. He was worried about the emails, the phone calls, the texts, and he was not telling her she needs to prioritize better. Are you listening? I'm hearing you talking, but are you listening? The wife, she did some things too that was that we're going to find out about a little later that we may need to go ahead and address. She didn't want to have a child. She had one child, and she said that child slowed her career down, and he was begging her for another child. Well, she snuck and did something that's a total no in a relationship. She snuck and had her tubes tied.
Wow.
Now, there are people that we know that sneak and have their tubes tied or had a vasectomy, and it's caused their marriage. It caused their marriage because they did not communicate. So this is a whole baggage full of issues that I'm going to pass it on to you so that I know you can remember each of the things. There was a lot there.
It was. That was quite a bit. I mean, but I would definitely look at the one with the cell phone.
Okay.
He asked her to put down the cell phone while we're on vacation. I know while we're at home, you do what you do. But now that we're on vacation, let home stay home. Okay. Now, I want to see if anybody out there agree with leaving home at home when you go on vacation. What do you call a vacation? Do you call a vacation doing just as much on your phone or email and texting as you do at home, at work? Or do you go on vacation? Do you say, hey, I'm putting the cell phone away, I'm putting this away, I don't want to talk, I'm not emailing? How do you really handle that? And by him saying what he said, was he wrong? I don't think so. All he was looking for is time with his wife, which he hadn't been getting because of her job. Now, I'm not kicking against nobody having a job, but if your job takes you away from your spouse, I think that's causing a problem. I think that's a problem when you put more time into your job and things, and then your spouse has a need. And it ain't always got to be a sexual need. It ain't always got just time. Just sit there, just talk to each other. Just sit on the couch and lay on their lap or lay on their shoulder or something of this nature. But he was upset getting upset because while they were driving, she's still on the phone. Did they call yet? Did this happen yet? Why not take care of that when you get back? Okay.
So in the movie, it's going to explain she had she was an attorney, and she was overseeing a case for a 16-year-old that was facing life. Very serious situation. So it could be that, or maybe your biggest real estate deal or biggest insurance deal. My thoughts are, first, was this something that was discussed prior to the trip, preparing her to be able to put it aside totally? That's my first thought.
Okay.
Was she prepared to put it away totally? And let's say if it was, still knowing her line of business, some needs are going to be needed to be addressed. I mean, that's because she's the business owner. She handles everything from the cradle to the grave.
Okay.
So that, my opinion is, yes, there are times, just like your job. Your job is being a pastor. People are still going to need you. whether you on vacation or not. You know, they're going to need you, and they may be at their most devastating time, and you're the one that knows how to calm that down or what have you. So these are things that need to be addressed in marriages. So do you get that? Now, there are times, some trips, you can't take your phone. Like on the cruise you took me on for my birthday. We didn't buy the internet package, so.
Oh, no.
So we were like forced to like shut it off. I had the quivers, like, and sometimes to her defense, this attorney's defense, maybe. Sometimes, when you're not sitting behind the computer just nonstop, working or whatever, the addiction is so strong, that the need is there. Some quick responses can be done to just get it over with because it's going to be weighing on my mind. So I may be hugging you or kissing you and it's on, oh God, if I could just respond back real quick to let her, yes, she can go ahead and finish that report. Things that weigh on my mind, look. My assistant knows, you know what, let's just talk it out and let it get it over with, because if it's going to weigh on my mind cannot wrap around the thing. And that's, hey, pray for me, because that's where I'm at, okay? Where are you at? Those that are addicted or those that are in demand of needing that communication. You're needing that communication constantly. And it's not just Candy app or, with a Candy Crush or playing games, but this is business that's being conducted. Can you find any mercy for business being?
I guess you can look at, there are times, sure, but if there is more time on business than you would spend with your spouse or whatever, and plus with her, she had a child as well, so that means the child and him was being neglected. He felt the neglect for him and his child. So when you get into that, I think if you're so busy you don't have that much time for your child nor your spouse, I must say, I think you're too busy. Yeah. Okay? I think you need to reel it in, check it out, and look and see what can I do to reel this in, because I want to keep a happy home. Because you can look at coming to that house and that man not there, that woman is not there, because they said, well, you don't need me to be here. You all wrapped up in what you're doing. So I would think it would just be a time.
Is that fair to say that when that woman is contributing bills, contributing money, and this is a career, you knew she had this career when you said I do. Or she got it and you was in agreement, excited with her. Babe, I'm going to be making $100,000 or whatever it is. It could be $50,000, and yeah, baby, your dream is coming true.
Sure.
Come on, that's how it is in the beginning.
Yeah, sure.
But yes, control and boundaries are needed. And you're more effective when you learn to shut it down at sometimes. I'm totally in agreement with that. And you're more accepted and loved and needed, or when you do shut down and try to disappear for a while. You don't always have to be present for things, to be successful.
Right, that's true. So, I think it's a thing called balance. I think at the end of the day, we get into a thing called balance. Okay. If I give my job 8 hours, then that's 8 hours. I'm getting paid for 8 hours. Okay. Anything over that, I'm just kind of out there on my own doing me. No, in them 8 hours, give it all you got them 8 hours. So look at yourself in them 8 hours. How much time are you really spending on your job working versus doing this, that, and trying to multitask with 12 other things instead of doing your work? So now after work, I'll do my work. So after work, then you're going to start doing your work after work. Then that means you're going to take your family time away. Because now you're doing your work after work. Because you done did everything else. Some of everything. I done called this. I done checked on that. I done did this. I done talked to my girlfriend. I talked to my brother. I done talked to my sister. I done did all of this when I done spent all this time talking to all of these folks when I should have been doing my work.
You better watch it now.
So when you're doing your work,
too close to the edge.
So you should have been doing your work instead of doing. Look at yourself. I guess some things just have to take inventory for yourself. Take inventory and look at your day. Look at how your day, everybody just look at how your day go. Are you spending more time basically talking to other people versus doing your work? If you got a job where, you know, they ain't really pressuring me if I don't get this or blah, blah, blah. Are you spending more time talking to other people versus really doing your work? Look at how many hours do you really spend really doing your work. Doing your work time versus talking to other people doing your work time or doing other things during your work time.
And so if the people is your job, the people you're talking to, that is your job. Communicating, you know, talking with people, getting information, you know, you're having to decipher the information. Like in sales, your people, that is your time.
8 hours.
Yeah.
8 hours.
But then you know what? When you're a business owner or a CEO or a pastor, you don't do an 8-hour job.
Well,
you do it more than an 8-hour job.
But you can't put a pastor in that category. There's no way. Exactly. There's no way you can put a pastor, a doctor, a pastor call, in a category attorneys. Of being a 9-to-5 worker.
Right.
That's what you got, a 9 to 5.
Right.
You're on the clock from 9 to 5. After 5, you clock out.
Some pastors do.
Well, I'm just saying. No, most of them.
Some of them set boundaries and office hours.
Yeah, you know, but I'm sure if any pastor that got a 9 to 5 office hours, if they member need them after that 9 to 5, oh no, we gotta wait till tomorrow. No. One of your main members got. Hold on, one of your main members got an issue after 9 to 5. You gonna say, okay, well, pastor, I got my mom just went to the hospital. All right, well, I'm gonna be on duty tomorrow from 9 to 5. I'll come by and see her. No, it don't work like that.
Right. I totally agree.
As a pastor. But as somebody that's got a 9 to 5, you got 9 to 5. That's all they expecting out of you. All this extra, that's on you.
But she wasn't a 9 to 5. She was a business owner or a partner of a firm. It's a major
And she
business.
left somebody else in control of the business.
That was her assistant.
That's right.
Who was there to take calls it's like a pacifier.
Okay.
An assistant is like a pastor. Like I'm your pacifier as an assistant, you know, until the real bottle comes. Come on, you know what I'm saying?
So, I mean, yeah, but that's all she needed. You talk to the pacifier. You talk all you get is air out of this pacifier.
7 days later to that bottle.
All you get is air out of this pacifier. So when the milk get here, we're going to feed you.
Okay.
But I think you ought to be able to, I think he made a very valuable
point.
Valuable point in
balance
what she was doing.
Definitely needed.
Very much so.
I don't care if you are whatever you are. Balance was needed in this relationship.
It was needed,
and it was starting to hurt to the point of he was crying out. He was crying out, and he was not even just asking anymore. He had gotten angry with it. He's angry with it. He's gotten anger. You can see frustration, anger, and sometimes. If a husband, a lot of times men do a little less talking than women. Sometimes we have to listen to their gestures, their tone, and not just their words. Sometimes they may not say words, but listen to their gestures. You've been around them long enough. Your son, your uncle, your father, whomever. Listen to their gestures because, you know, they may not say words. When their phone ring, or constantly sign, you know, but there are some things that, you know, can't be changed. There are literally some days that I go into the office to work just because I'm like, I know he gets tired of seeing me on the phone sometimes. Let me just go in at the desk so that he won't have to see me because this is my job. But I understand what you're saying. But when you're a business owner, it does put a different light on it. It puts a different spin on it. And we should have muted our phone. Sorry about that. It puts a different spin on it. See, now that was a call for him. That was a call for him. Not my phone ringing, all right? That was his phone ringing. So
for a change.
For the last 4 years, we've been doing Swatting and Inspiration 9 o'clock. But that was one of his main people.
What that?
Your head did. And see, he'll jump on it because.
But I mean, it's just that.
And it just shows that there are positions, baby, that cannot stop at 5 o'clock. You know.
That's true.
And I'm not just picking on pastors, but it was just very appropriate. And since this was my sore spot, I thought I'd just throw it in there. So I did not see myself until we had a seminar. We had remember we had that seminar? We had a seminar, Swanigan. It wasn't Swanigan Inspiration at the time. We did it under the name of God of a Second Chance, and we were helping marriages. And we had the seminar, and then it was a seminar, had someone acting out one of the spouses being on the phone all the time. And I said, oh my God, does it look that bad? And like the light bulb just came on. So know your weak spots, know the areas that you need to work on, and then compliment your spouse when you see them trying. You know, compliment them. Give them some brownie points for trying.
Right. When you see that, you when you see that, make sure you do that.
But when you see that money coming in,
make sure you do it.
Compliment them that too.
Make sure you do that. Thank you so much for working. I appreciate your job. You're working and everything, sweetie. I appreciate it. And you can tell your husband or your wife, either way you go, I appreciate you working, all the hard work that you do. You can say that. But at the same time, I would say, let's try and do the best you can to keep it balanced. Keep a balance there. That way it makes both parties happy. It won't have her feeling some kind of way or him feeling some kind of way. If you can just kind of keep it balanced, you know, I think it would really be a blessing. It would really be a help to the marriage if you just kind of try all you can just to keep it balanced. I don't think she was really trying to keep it balanced. Even after you saw after he said, you know, you just on the phone and she, okay, now you just gonna be me and you.
You happy that was
that kind of no, that ain't the way you said. No. Are you happy now? It's just gonna be me and you.
Right.
No, that ain't gonna be the case now. Trust me, that ain't gonna even be the case. But that's what she said. So don't do a thing in a nasty way. Don't be nasty about it. No, be loving about it. Okay, you know, let's talk about it. Once you talk about it and get an understanding about the situation, then you can move forward with it. But don't be no nasty because it's been brought to your attention.
Right.
No, that's not good. Then you're gonna cause another problem.
Right.
Because I got an attitude. And why are you bringing that? No, this is something I wanted. What's your problem? This is the problem. Talk about it and deal with it.
And he was really hungry for time. You know, her putting the job, making him feel second fiddle to the job. And you don't want anyone to feel second fiddle or second place to anything. You know, even ask the partner, hey, is there something I can do to help with this, expedite this? Because I want to spend time with this. What do you need? Do you need me to proofread it? And I have to say that he has helped and stepped in on areas like that. Areas where he can, you know, help in so that I can get the time back. You know, there's sometimes you can multitask things. You don't have to complete everything. Me, I'm talking about myself or the person in that category. You don't have to be the one to complete everything. Sometimes there's times you can delegate it. Delegate out the work. So don't you do everything. And you got to trust other people. Trust other people that they're going to do their best on the assignment to make it well done. So there's areas that he needed work on with control and tone. But maybe do you think that he was just at his wit's end?
Maybe that could have been. That could have been the case. And he did have a pretty rough tone. His tone was pretty rough, you know, by saying what he's saying. But like I said, it could have been. And I think it might have been the idea that, okay, let's go on vacation. And I just wanted to be me and you.
Money spent.
Me and you. We done spent all this money. We're going on this beautiful vacation. Just me and you. Not your office, you know. We're not taking your office. We're not taking your whoever the caseworkers are. We're not taking just me and you. And I think it really frustrated him to find out that we're driving down here and you've been on the phone while we're in the car longer than you've been talking to me. So I think he kind of came to met his wits end with her. You know, I think that's what happened.
So they got some issues, and we're going to be seeing some issues. So another problem, like we pointed out, he wanted another child. She did not. Now, that's a big concern. Yeah. These are some things that really need to be talked out. People do change in the middle of marriages. You know, it may start off, I want 10 brothers and sisters, children, you know, and then it may start cutting down once you start seeing how expensive they are. You know what? Maybe we get 4 or 3. You know, I'd be happy for the boy and a girl. You know, it starts changing. But hers got changed to the point that she went further. There are certain things that you should not do on your own. No. Like a vasectomy or a tube tying. You do not do that without your spouse. Matter of fact, when you say I do, you're saying, you know, I don't to having the rights to doing certain things to your own body.
Right.
You
That's
know,
true.
so
That's true.
you can't do that. You just don't. That's a big no-no. Don't do certain things to your body, you know, without that permission, because you're going to be causing problems in your own house, you know.
Yeah.
What would you say, even like a tattoo, or, you know, I mean, what do you think is going too far with doing things to your own body?
Tattoo.
I guess in certain areas.
Yeah, I guess certain.
You know,
I wouldn't want to be looking at all that stuff. I personally wouldn't want to be looking at all that tattoo.
so I got a tiger here wrapped around.
I'm your live one right here.
A butterfly.
But I mean, if there's something you feel like you should discuss with your mate, you do so. I mean, that would be something that you would discuss with your mate. But definitely when you're going to make a change to your body, for we're talking about vasectomies and
cutting a
tube tie, that type of a
she
thing.
She got them tied. They weren't cut. They weren't cut and burnt. There is a difference. You can get them tied. You can get them cut. And when you get them cut, it's more permanent. Although we have friends that has a baby that their tubes were cut.
Yeah.
And that those tubes worked their way back together. And God gave her a beautiful son. Son in the relationship, in their marriage.
Really? Look, I got any coffee. That can happen, you know. But
that was a miracle.
Don't go just do that without, you know, talking to your spouse.
Because you're going to cause.
Yeah. And here he is wanting another baby.
Yeah.
And he's just trying, working his little heart out. Just every night up there bumping and thumping.
Right.
And going every night. And then all of a sudden, you tell him, man, what are you doing?
You're like,
I'm working on getting another baby. Oh. Sit down.
No, but he didn't find out that way. Didn't he find out?
No, everybody else, they had later on.
So we're going to see how. And this is going to take weeks for us to go through this. So we're not going all through all this all tonight.
Right.
But you want to say any more about it?
No, but I think that she kind of handled it wrong when he asked her, and she was like, okay, no. Right. I think she was a little nasty.
Yeah, like as if it was a problem.
Right.
You know. And it was. She wanted to respond to things. Now there are times, you know, that I'm like, oh, good, I can get caught up on these emails. It's my day off, because they put so much on you on these jobs, and and you're trying to stay above board to try to make it and survive.
Right.
And these are some pressures that we have to deal with, but Lord help us to deal with it the right way. And then our attitude, like you said, you know. His wasn't good, and neither was hers.
Right.
Both of them had really had bad attitudes towards their response. Okay, so now the student is getting ready to ask about another couple that we're going to go into a totally different issue. Here we go.
Are they still married? Or I really don't like to discuss my friends, but yes, they are still married.
Okay, but are they happy?
Well,
I'm so excited you're home.
This is Sheila. Sheila, the overweight wife that had with her girlfriend, and the husband.
Wait a second, I think
Sheila, why don't you sit over here by your husband?
No. You sit right there, all right? We got science in for a reason. All right, cool. Sit.
There might be some nice single men I could introduce you up to those mountains, girl.
Oh, Sheila, here we go again.
I'm a Jax. I am fine just the way I am. Well, I tell you, you look good. I like that new coat, girl. Thank you.
Well, y'all gonna talk the whole flight?
Well, good.
I'm sorry, man, but we have a very full flight today.
Yeah, I bought the tickets months ago.
I understand that, but it is the airline's policy that someone your size has to buy 2 seats.
Don't even think about looking back there. What? I've been doing that big ass moves for months now.
Use the language.
Sheila, I want to give up my
Of course, that's her husband.
Right.
Her
What's
husband.
that gonna do? Then I'll be uncomfortable. Wait, lady. Look,
This is her husband doing all of this.
So out of order.
Look, Sheila. Take the bus. Oh, drive. That's it, drive. Yeah, then you get some alone time. You can talk to the Lord and sing or whatever you do. see you. Let me see you. Oh, it's okay. Love you.
Yeah, love you.
Should be fine. Just relax.
Yes, Molly.
It's hard to believe that a woman as educated as you.
All right.
Wow.
So that's our next couple.
Wow.
Come on back in, baby.
Okay.
Okay, that's
Wow.
couple number 2. Sheila, and what was his name? I couldn't remember his name. And the girlfriend was we know Sheila. Sheila, the overweight friend with the cute little thin, attractive girlfriend that came with them. Let's first talk about the seating arrangements. That was so out of order. I don't care how close the girlfriend is. You just don't let them, get that close. I don't care if they are, if they can be skinny as a rail and you could be whatever, big as 2 trucks. I don't care. It's still, that's your spouse. You need to sit next to your spouse.
Right.
That was so out of order.
Right.
What else? You want to outline that one?
I mean, it was just so all of that was just backward and out of order. How is it that he allowed a girl, quote unquote, at the time, Sheila didn't realize it was his girlfriend, really. Because that's all going to come out in the wash, too.
Right.
But at the same time, he would do something like that to her and embarrass her and just tell her, calling her fat and all this type of thing. Out loud, just saying all this to her. Mm-hmm. And at the end of it, he going to tell her, well, I tell you what, you get off and you drive. Here's a few dollars. Here, take this for gas money. And he just going to embarrass her and just put her off the plane instead of telling the girl, first of all, like you said, how you going to let her sit beside you?
Right.
Instead of your wife. Now, you got some men out there may do some stuff like that, but that ain't nowhere near cool. That ain't...
I mean, some men are that bold, or women. Some women
sure.
can be. I've seen women, do their husbands equally as bad, But that was so.
Yeah, that was totally rude.
Heartless. It was just so heartless. That behavior. Yeah. The words he was saying. I told her time after time she need to lose weight. Either way, that can go either way with a man or with a woman. And there's no way that a flight attendant, there'd be so many suits that were going on that they were just making a movie out of it. Right. Okay. So now they have 2 seatbelt extensions that they would put around the person. And I have seen where the person did what they felt more comfortable. Maybe you'll feel more comfortable with, giving yourselves 2 seats instead of the 1. But since we have a large flight, a heavy load today, that seat would have to be purchased. But they would not embarrass her. There'd be so many suits that was be going on that, oh my gosh, she'd be owning the airline. Okay. Yeah. So we know that this was just a movie and that just to make it, to give us conversation point and things like that to make a point. What were some other things that were, he told her to, he started mocking her God, her religion, her faith. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. He told her, go ahead. Yeah, that way you can do it by yourself. You can sing and pray to whatever the thing you do. I mean, just cold-hearted. That's just cold.
No heart.
He's just a cold dude that say stuff like that. Just whatever you do. But be by yourself. Just give you some alone time to sing and pray for your God, whatever you do. That was totally out of order for him to say. Right. I mean, he was the height of a jerk.
Yeah, he really was.
He was the top of the line of a jerk for a husband.
Yes.
To do her like that and do his wife. I mean, just say all that type of thing out loud and didn't care. Mm-hmm. He didn't care who didn't care. He didn't care who was around, who heard.
You can see the arrogance.
The girlfriend, the girl that he wanted to let her sit beside him. What? Versus your wife sit beside you? You gonna let this girl? Very, very uncool.
Out of order.
Totally out of order.
So the girlfriend, let's talk about her. And she just stayed there.
Right.
She didn't try to pack up. No, I'm going with my friend.
Right.
No, she was totally out of order herself. Too comfortable. Watch these signs. Come on. Let's stop being blind or oblivious to the fact, that, maybe, just maybe, they could be in some like a relationship. You watch for signs. There are blatant, that was a blatant sign. And don't just allow things to happen. She stayed there on the plane.
Yeah.
No, girl, I'm going with you.
Yeah.
A real girlfriend's going to have the back and watch the back of another girlfriend.
Right.
She's going to know, I'm going with you.
Yeah.
I'm sticking with you. No, I'm here. I'm teaming up with you. It's team us.
Yeah.
It ain't no you friends and, you know, you more friends with the husband and you know, trying to sit next to him and things like that and you just going to go along with the ride. No, not at all. Not at all. No. That was totally ugly scene. So many red signs. Sheila's eyes needed to be opened up. Sheila's mouth needs to open up.
Right.
Speak up. Don't just sit there and take things like that because the devil had full range over there.
Yeah, but she definitely should. The friend, well, that wasn't no friend. It wasn't her friend. No. Because if it was a real, true friend, she would say, hey, listen, no, I'm going with her. I'm riding with you, Sheila. You're going to be riding from wherever.
No, Sheila, you sit here. You sit here. I'm not. Let me get up.
One or the other.
No,
she should have did something. Something else she should have did. If he didn't want Sheila to be there, she should have said, I'm going with Sheila.
Yeah.
I'm going to ride with her. No, I'm not going with you. If that was a real friend, if she was a real friend.
She was liking that attention.
Well, that just show you what she was all about.
Right.
She wasn't about being a true friend.
No.
She was more so into him than into her.
Right. Into her friend's husband.
Yeah,
right.
they were more so together. That was a sick
relationship.
Totally.
And the disrespect
out of
right
order.
in her face. And you know, that disrespect that's not cause for it. That's just total disrespect right in the face. So you know, God has a plan. Even the movie shows out how he ends up, but we're not gonna spoil it for those maybe that have not seen it. Yeah. Any more to say?
No. Okay. No, that's about all.
Let's go on to our next couple.
Wow, I could have a friend like Angela. Well, one of the great things about going to a historically black college is that you get to meet very interesting people. And Angela, she's incredibly intelligent. She studied chemistry. And when she couldn't get a job in corporate America, she took another route. She started her own hair care line. Lady Angie, it's a great product. I use it myself.
But what about her husband, Marcus? Wasn't he having trouble staying employed?
Yes, but they seem to have worked something out.
I'm sick of dealing with your ghetto baby mama.
Do you mind?
Excuse us.
And what the hell are you talking about? Do you mind? Y'all ain't never seen black people on a train? You ain't never heard of the Underground Railroad?
You got a ghetto Harriet Tubman. Let my people go. You heard me? We can tell. They're 40. All liquor.
You always have to embarrass me.
Look at you, Marcus. You are an embarrassment, okay? And I was fine till we dropped your kids off at Keisha's house.
She's the mother. What do you want me to do?
Be a man and tell her to stop talking to me like she crazy. I'm telling you, Marcus, if she looks at me one more time cross-eyed, I'm gonna gut her like a fish.
She wasn't even looking at you.
How would you know? You weren't even on her face. You're too busy staring at her ass.
Could you lay off of that for a while?
Could you go to hell for a while? Excuse me?
Nothing.
Do you mind? Fifi is trying to nap.
You know what? Well, Angela is trying to have a conversation with her husband. I'm about sick of y'all interrupting my conversation. I don't give a damn about Fifi. I heard those little smart-ass remarks you made, too. Didn't your mama teach you something? Who the hell do these people think they are anyway? Did y'all see me have the conversation with my husband when I got on this train trying to save a damn marriage?
What about you and your husband?
What about us?
Well, I know you've been through a lot lately, and I am so sorry for your loss, but I mean, how is your marriage holding up?
You can ask my husband yourself.
We're going to be late for our flight. That's all we're doing.
Well, there you have it. Thank you.
Okay, this is where we start.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So that really brought on the third couple. Then we'll talk about the last one, which was Janet Jackson and her husband. Okay, the third couple was Angela and Marcus. Angela and Marcus. What a couple.
What a couple.
This couple has lots of issues. The wife that is totally out of control with her language, number one. So excuse the language. I know this is an old movie. We've seen it many times, but we don't want those words to get numb to our ears or get so familiar with us. But you know, this wife was totally disrespectful.
Yeah.
Belittling.
Yeah.
It sounded like she was at wit's end, and now surpassing being at wit's end, she was angry and now becoming violent. Because those are levels, okay? Those are levels. And, okay. Let's see. Sorry about that. Those are various levels that a person gets. Frustrated, angry, and to the point where she was upset with his behavior of not having a job. She was upset with the way he did not speak up on behalf of the respect for the wife. Any other points on that that you want to share?
Yeah, so she was at wit's end, but she just didn't handle it right. She still didn't handle it the right way. I mean, the way she would just kind of say what she wanted to say. She was loud and very ghetto-ish, very much ghetto-ish. Certainly she was embarrassing to him.
Yes.
I mean, the way she was talking and what she was saying. That's another one that's out in the public. We talked about the other one that was out in the public. Here's another one out in the public that's saying whatever she wanted to say. The one was on the plane. This was on the train. Now, she just... what is it with a plane or a train? So she was just saying whatever she wanted to say. The people behind her was talking about the dog and trying to get some rest. She didn't have nothing good to say to them. So she was just kind of pretty well out of control. And of course, she was doing her drinking thing.
Yeah.
She was getting her drinking on.
Right.
So all of that mixed together can make for a pretty bad person. So all you see there is just someone that's totally out of control, that's got a bad attitude, and it seems like it's toward a husband. He can't keep a job. Now, the only job he has is later on you'll find out he working in her shop. She does have a salon.
Right.
And he's working in there. She hired him in order for him to have some work to do. But anyway, at the end of the day, he has children by Keisha.
Right.
So he has kids by Keisha. So that's why she said that they had to drop the kids off at Keisha's house. So that's the baby mama. And she's nothing nice either. She's nothing nice. Keisha's nothing nice. But at the end of the day, when you have that type of a situation, can't we all just get along?
Right. I mean, you got to learn to just respect each other.
You got to respect each other.
Play. Because, you know, at the end of the day, we're all adults.
Yeah.
We're adults now. And, you know, they may be still children or, you know, but, you know, you are old enough to have children.
Right.
And now you got to respect that role.
That role.
But it does take that husband to speak up, to say something. And finally, we'll see later on, that'll be next week's or week after's next. But he did not, at the time, this was hurting her.
Right.
And angering her and making her more violent.
Right.
Even with her tone, her verbally. She is an abuser. She's an abusive wife. That was what you would call verbal abuse. Verbal abuse. She was a verbal abuser.
And talking about getting physical.
Right.
So she was way over the line.
Right.
Yeah.
So abuser verbally and physical, verbal, and accusing.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Constantly accusing him and belittle him.
Yeah.
Women, when you belittle a man, they have a thing called ego. When you kill that ego, you're killing the relationship.
Yeah.
You kill the relationship. When that ego is killed, his ego was killed, demolished. For number one, he didn't like the fact that he couldn't work.
No,
he wasn't happy about that.
Right.
And he hated the fact that he had to go work for his wife.
Exactly.
And it just was just upsetting. Her drinking had gotten out of control to the point where she went and bought a little fancy little bottle.
She bought her a little mini thermos. So
she a little thermos. You saw what that was? A little drinking thermos to drink her drink with constantly.
Right.
All the time. She was an alcoholic.
She had an issue.
She had some major. Now it could be alcohol. It could be drugs. It could be even prescription drugs.
Right.
That your mate may have. And he kept asking her to stop drinking. Stop it. You need to stop doing that. He kept asking her, and she out-talked him. Loud talked him, belittled him, and refused to.
Yeah.
Now this is a major issue that just snowballed to a bigger issue problem. He couldn't control his wife. There was no controlling her. I don't think anybody could control Angela.
I don't think so either. No.
Angela was uncontrollable.
Totally out of control.
Her friends kind of did, a little bit.
A little bit.
But kind of out of control.
Yeah.
So, okay, then we had Janet Jackson and her spouse, Janet Jackson and her spouse. They were a hurting couple that refused to deal with it. Yeah. Now, she was a doctor. She was a psychologist or psychiatrist. She did not want to. She faced everybody else's problems.
Right. Dealt with them. Yep,
but did not want to deal with her own problems.
Right.
And, that's that scenario that I had written out. Before I can water someone else's grass, I need to water my own grass.
Yes.
I love my lawn, and that's something I love to keep up with. I love, working in the lawn, seeing it, and not necessarily cutting it, but I like seeing the lines of when it is cut. And I would go out in the summer times that we didn't have a sprinkler, and so I would go out and move my sprinkler, my sprinkler in different spots early in the morning before I leave or start my day. And the Lord gave me this insight right while I was doing it, because I would constantly put the sprinkler babe in one spot. Then I would go water another space and water another spot. And all of a sudden I started seeing a little yellowing around the area where I kept putting the sprinkler. And I heard him saying, don't water everybody else's lawn and leave your own lawn in lack of being watered. Basically in lack of being watered. Make sure you are watering your own spot before you water some other else. In other words, help yourself. Put the mask on yourself.
Right.
Before you help someone else put a mask on. And I just really, I heard, I'm like, oh my God, and this has stayed with me. It has stayed with me for years and years, because this was years ago, over 25 years ago when I was in the yard. And I could just hear that voice, to the point where I saw the sprinkler constantly watering other areas. It even got over into our neighbor's yard. And I was needing to make sure that my yard was being watered. Yeah. In other words, they're making it personal. Crystal, take care of yourself. Take care of your own family. Take care of your own family, your own needs, before you're out here ministering to other people and helping so many other families, and your own household is lacking and hurting. So Janet Jackson was dealing with that problem there. Yeah. She didn't want to deal with her own, to the point where her husband came into the classroom and she said, well, he's here. I'm gonna let him answer it. Yeah. She was escaping the answer. She always wanted to escape the answers and discussing things.
And of course, he didn't want to deal with it either. He said, we got a plane to catch. We got to go. Right. So he just got to play it off.
Let's take that time, Yeah. They had a major issue where they lost a child.
Right.
Okay, let's look at that a little bit. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Right.
They lost a child. That in her rush one day, in her haste, this is why we ask moms, please buckle your children. There's so many car accidents. You notice in the increase of accidents going on, and you see how the cars, they just had the hearing just today.
Right.
Of the young lady that legs were amputated, cut off during a car crash because of the horrificness and the impact, the severity of this impact.
Right.
That just was going on today. But accidents are happening. But in this mother's rushing, you so into your business, you're so into your own career, you're so into what you doing, you, that you didn't snap the baby into the seat, and she had a horrible accident, and the baby got killed as a result of the car accident.
Yeah.
So talk about, baby, how that impacted that home.
So that was something that, as you said, she's a psychologist. And she's helping everybody else with their problem and their situation, but did not want to face her own. And that caused a big problem for her husband. Yes. He wanted her, honey, let's just talk about it. I know you didn't try to do it. I know it was an accident, but she did never want to discuss it or talk about it. No, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. And that caused a big split in the household. That one thing caused the biggest split in their household, because she did not want to face reality in her own home. Don't be a type of person that you want to go out and help everybody else's house and your house messed up. One songwriter says, sweep around
your own front door
before
you try to sweep around mine.
So sweep around your own door first of all. Get all the dirt out in front of your door before you try to go across the street and sweep somebody else's door. So make sure things are clean around your own door. So what she did, she wanted to make sure everybody else was taken care of, but she neglected her own household. And it caused a big problem in her home.
Yes.
So make sure you take care of home first. Love, charity starts at home, and then it spreads. So because she didn't want to deal with the situation, it really caused a big problem.
So another issue that they had, babe, was money and greed.
Yes.
Greed. And that's going to come out a little later on.
Yeah.
They had money and greed issues.
Yes, they
This
did.
wife was very successful,
Very.
the doctor, in writing this book. It got her $800,000 from signatures and things. And that right there, not to mention the value of the home, how much was in the savings account, how much was in the checking, the different 401 plans and the stocks. But that one thing that she wrote, now we got to realize when I do anything or when you do anything, when you're married, it's not me doing it, it's us doing it. And that husband breaks it down.
Right.
He breaks it down. And all those nights you stayed up and you wanted me to read your work.
Right.
And you asked for suggestions. I didn't use any of your suggestions, but you listened to them. You took them and you tweaked them and you used what I said. And it's going to come out. We're going to talk about those issues at a later time. But they had like a silent storm going on.
Right.
And if you're dealing with a silent storm, to me, it's more dangerous. I think they're a more dangerous couple than Marcus and Angela. Because at least Marcus and Angela are talking out loud.
Right.
But when you get that quiet treatment and you're not dealing with things and you're constantly, we'll talk about it later, let's not deal with this, or you're avoiding matters, and you're looking at pictures, you're avoiding wanting to see pictures and face reality. What time are we at, babe? We have the time. We did start a few minutes late, so we can borrow a minute or two. When you're avoiding all these things, you are just suppressing your pain.
Right.
And it's gonna come up.
Eventually.
It's gonna come up.
Somewhere it's gonna come
up and out.
Right.
And either it's gonna hurt others or hurt you.
Yeah.
And in this case, I think it did both.
I think it did both.
Hurt both of them.
It damaged both of them.
Yes, it did.
That it didn't end up with a happiness for neither one of them.
Neither one. But
it was a problem.
Let's look at the road because of the silence that was there.
Yeah.
That silence is dangerous. Silence is a killer to marriages. You keeping the quiet silent. I'm just not gonna talk about it. We'll wait till later. It needs to be talked out.
Talk about it.
Because you know what? Things are inwardly dying, like that rotten tomato that I told you about yesterday. It was rotten on the inside, but looking at it on the outside, they look like the ideal couple.
Wow, yeah.
She's a doctor and he was a business owner, and she wrote a book, and why did I get married? And every year they go on a trip. That was some inner damage.
Yeah, look good. That look good.
But you bite into that fruit. Woo!
It was messed.
Rotten to the core. That couple was rotten because of their silence.
Yeah, well. We ain't gonna take it all night.
We're just tipping the tip of the iceberg.
We're just on the tip of the iceberg. But I thank y'all so much for joining us tonight. But before I go,
oh my goodness,
hey! But before I go, I want y'all to know that you all see a Teresa Barkley.
Okay.
I want y'all to know that's my niece that lives down south. That's my niece.
Yes.
After last week's show,
was that 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Last week she called me. She was on Facebook. She was on Facebook, and she put on there that she was giving away an old doll, I believe, to her grandbaby that she had. She was getting rid of an old doll that she had. I said to her, I read a response on that. I said, "Oh, sounds like you got the message, huh?" And of course, we Facebook tap, we tic-tac a while, and then she said, "No, I'm gonna call you and talk to you." So she called me and was telling me, "I got to give in. Oh, you got me. So I do have one convert that's getting rid of stuff. So she
got rid of a lot of things.
Yeah, she said I got rid of several bags of clothes and shoes. Several bags. So I said, "Look at that. See, there is a God." Oh, she said, I got rid of so much stuff. Yeah, so it can be done, ladies out there. Ladies, it can be done. Just put it in a bag and get rid of it. Get rid of it. She took it to a place where you can go and just take it down there and give it away to the place. That was good. So clap for it. Oh. Kudos to you.
Good job, Teresa. Good job, girl.
Get rid of it.
Good job.
Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. We might have got off on a little rough start, but we got there.
Thank you for your patience. And we were working with things, trying to get things
together.
Indeed. We'll have it more organized, hopefully on next week with the music and things like that. But for this time, we hope you enjoyed tonight.
We got it.
Breaking down these 4 couples, and we're going to dig in even more.
Yeah.
We want to look back at your comments too, and to be able to, or you call in and share with us. For now, have a good night. Thank you for joining us on
Swanigan Inspiration. Good night. Oh.